Hey listeners, ever notice how everyone has big plans but only a few actually follow through? That's where real leadership shows up. Not in the ideas but in the action that backs them. So I want to talk about the ability where fortune is in the follow through and why leaders must close the loop. Let's discuss.
Welcome to Leadership is Changing. Each week, we and our guests provide information and insights through exploring leading change. This is taking your leadership to another level by finding the balance between executive excellence and personal well-being through stories that inspire real change. It's time to adapt in our fast-moving world when leadership is changing with your host, Denis Gianoutsos.
Welcome to the Ask Dennis episode. This is a freestyle episode where I'm asked a question by our listeners or share my thoughts and experiences and insights from working with many leaders around the globe. Well, listeners, there's a saying out there that I've come to appreciate deeply over the last few years, and fortune is in the follow-through is the actual saying. Now, whether you're in business or in leadership and whatever you're doing in life, what we talk about in business is that you can go and meet people, you can go and look to sell something to them, meet with them to understand what they're wanting to do. But a lot of people don't go back. They don't do the follow through or the follow up. And the fortune is really in the follow up, the follow through, because I know that when I meet with people that if I don't follow through, it goes and falls through the cracks. And so that's where the fortune is, and hence the saying. Now, it's whether it's about building trust, maybe even driving execution or influencing others, your ability to follow through as a leader is where the real results are made. As I said in my opening, it's not about the flashy ideas or it's not about the bold strategies alone. It's in what we do after the meeting, after the commitment, after the plan. Now, why does follow through matter? Or why does it matter in leadership? Well, the true test of leadership doesn't lie in what you say, but in what you finish. Teams watch leaders closely, not just for inspiration, but for consistency and reliability. If a leader follows through on what they said they would do, it starts to create or starts to build on confidence and momentum. If not, then it's going to create some other things like doubt, disengagement, and confusion. So how long, this is a question I ask a lot of my people that I work with in coaching and speaking and facilitating. How long does it take to build trust? Trust takes a long, long time to build. But how long does it take to lose it? Within seconds, especially when you don't follow through on what you said you were going to do. Following through actually communicates a few things. One is integrity. You mean what you say. Number two is accountability. So you own the outcomes. And number three would be around respect. You value others' time, trust, and also efforts. So what happens when a leader doesn't or don't follow through? When a leader starts to drop the ball, what tends to happen is that it will start to chip away at their credibility. So people will start to question if they can rely on you. You might find that some of your projects might stall. Communication starts to break down. And actually, there's the most dangerous part of it is that it sends the message that commitments are optional. Now think about what I just said there. Commitments are optional. When I've done this podcast, the commitment I did was to do 3 episodes a week, week in and week out. That's what was happening, right? Can you imagine? Because there's a lot of people that start podcasts, and I'm using this once again as an example. A lot of them want to do it. A lot of them start to podcast, but they don't go past episode 7 to 10. Why? Because it takes commitment. It does take a lot of commitment and consistency. But you can imagine the person's credibility when they've said they've gone out there and they've launched this thing, which is all great, but then it filters away to nothing. Imagine what people think about their credibility. Imagine where people start to question whether they can really rely on that leader. It's the same thing about leading teams. Here's what can actually happen if you send whereby you are dropping the ball. Okay, these are the things that can actually happen when you're dropping the ball and your credibility is starting to chip away at your credibility, and people starting to question whether they can rely on you. One thing that could actually happen is trust erodes. People stop believing the promises, the commitment, the things that you say. Morale can drop and the team become disengaged. Reputation suffers. Others can see this inconsistency as a pattern now, and so your reputation can suffer. And then opportunities are lost. So if we have no action or a lack of action, then that equals to a lack of results. So in short, the cost of not following through is greater than most leaders understand or realize. So what are the steps to follow through effectively? So, the question is, how do you as a leader ensure you close the loop? I'm going to share with you a simple but powerful framework around this, okay? So there's 6 different things in here. Number 1, be clear on the commitment. So start with clarity, be specific about what you're committing to, by when, and what success may look like. Ambiguity is the enemy of accountability. Another strong statement. Ambiguity is the enemy of accountability. Number 2, write it down. Don't rely on your memory. The number of leaders that I talk to where have you got written down? Oh, I've got it here in my head. Come on. You will forget things. You will forget deadlines. You will forget the things that you're committed to doing. Write it down. So capture your commitments in your calendar, and maybe in a system that you've got for tasks, or maybe even a planning tool that you might have. What gets written down gets done. Number 3 is set checkpoints. In other words, build in reminders or milestones to help ensure that you're taking stock of the progress that you're making. Not just waiting for a deadline to surprise you and go, ta-da, it's D-Day. No, you don't want to do that. You want to actually have those reminders, those checkpoints, those milestones in place to help you along the journey. Number 4 is communicate progress. So you want to keep the stakeholders or those people who are interested or those people that it may affect updated. Even if the task isn't finished, showing momentum keeps that trust alive and people will go with you on the journey. Number 5, deliver or reset. So finish what you have promised. If circumstances change, then what you need to do is communicate quickly. In other words, tell people real quick that there is a change and start to reset expectations and then own that adaptable situation. Adapt real quick, but own it. Own it by communicating, setting new expectations, and moving forward. Number 6 is reflect and learn. So after you follow through, the thing here would be for you to take a moment to reflect. Hey, what went well and what could we improve next time? The follow through is also about building your leadership muscle over time. When we go to the gym and we do exercise, if we're working on our arms, we will maybe working on our biceps, our triceps, depending on certain different muscle groupings. But the thing here is that as you start to build those muscles, you will remember. If you know how to ride a bicycle, that is what we call muscle memory, whereby you may not have ridden a bike for several years, but you can jump on another bike and then more or less start to re-engage that muscle memory. It's the same thing here around follow through. Follow through is about building your leadership muscle over time. Leaders who follow through win. Because as I said in my opening, great ideas are everywhere. However, execution, that's rare. But that's what leadership is about. Because you see, as you lead others, remember, your words matter, but also your actions matter. Because every time you follow through, you're going to compound trust or grow the trust. You're going to grow influence and you're going to grow the impact. That's where the real fortune lies. It's not just in the money, but in relationships and results and reputation. I want to finish off by saying this. Fortune is in the follow-through. Make sure you show up, that you close the loop, and that you actually lead deliberately. Hey listeners, your call to action this week is, if you need help right now in helping you set some goals, or maybe working through with you and your team, your organization, then feel free to set up a 30-minute strategy call. How do you do that? It's real simple. You go to my website, leadingchangepartners.com, and there's these gold boxes, if I can put it that way, that says book a call. You click on those, you don't have to click on one, and it'll set up and it will open up my booking system, and you can choose a time when you and I, day and time wise, are available, and you book it, and it'll send you the link for the meeting. The other way you can do it is actually go to the show notes down below, and there's a link there that the team's put in there, and so you can see the link for you to click in. So I'm making it easy for you to book a free call just to get together for 30 minutes and have a little bit of a chat. The people who've done that are finding that they're getting clarity pretty quickly on the call. We're helping them out. We're helping them go to new levels, and they're seeing tremendous results. The number 2 call to action here is, if you really are enjoying these episodes of this podcast, if you're listening to it on Apple, go and do the 5-star rating and leave a review. And if you are on Spotify, do a 5-star review as well. And we'd love you to do that. Why? Because it actually helps with the visibility of the show. The more and more of you that are doing that, more and more people are going to see the actual show itself, which means we can get more listeners to listen to the show. Hey listeners, that's it for this episode. It's always a pleasure being with you. Thanks for joining me on the Leadership is Changing podcast. Until next time, bye for now.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Leadership is Changing with your host, Denis Gianoutsos. Each week, we and our guests provide information and insights through exploring leading change, inspiring executives and leaders to adapt and lead a bigger game in a fast-moving world.